I get bored with my own material, which is kind of good. Whatever humor I've inherited, aside from the guy up through the clouds, my dad was an alcoholic and a drunk, and then my mother and father got divorced. I think the interesting thing about my father and my relationship was I never felt that I was in competition with him. I do feel that he was in competition with me. I try to paint pictures, verbal pictures. My mind has always been a little, hardly what you'd call commercial, different. Yeah. I fished, I think most of my life and never caught a big, but I put together two fish talking to each other. Two big bass. I've been in the lake 25 years, never been caught. Toss it again. You know what I'd like to do is jump in the boat and then out again. Give that guy a coronary. Did this, what I call soup strainer in front of me with WING call letters, and I really felt, wow, this is radio. I'm really on the air. Oh. And the engineers doing this, and I said, yeah, good for you. And I finally realized that I better start talking. I went to New York with $56.46. I was scared to death. I didn't have any contacts. I just knocked on a lot of doors, and a lot of it was luck. I was living hand to mouth, as it were. I really, at that time, was depending on sound effects much more than I do today. I did them, I guess selfishly, it would be putting it for myself. I tried them out on me. You're your own best audience. I was inclined to mock the kitty, as it were. Oh, terrible. Things will be edited, of course, quite a bit here. I did a dog. That's an old dog, which I'm old, so I started out doing an old dog, and here I am now, and definitely an old dog. Then I did a door closing and opening. Now, good morning to you. Oh, I see we're going to rob the house. I like you. You're fresh, and you've got a tremendous ear, and you should go places. Can you take some advice? And I said, sure. I don't think you have to continue to use any more impersonations of stars. I thought it was a funny name. I knew guys called Elwood. Chester came from, if anything, came from me. Well, I wasn't a problem child. Maybe my parents thought so. I didn't think so. I thought they were the problem. I figured through Chester I could really speak out about my problems. I had an Aunt Lou who was a tremendous woman, physically a big, very heavy-set woman. She was bedridden a great deal, but she always had a little brandy beside the bed. Maude Frickert was kind of and it still is kind of a salute to, she's not quite a dirty old lady, but very close. When she sees the Italian man pass in Rome, on the Ponte Vecchio, oh my God, you could crack walnuts on him. The road was tough for me. I was afraid. My time on the road was to, get the money, send it home, and how do I get home without coming home a cripple? The bulk of my career in clubs was the days when I was into the gasoline and the sauce. I took chances. I did some improvising, but because of my habit and because of this disease that has really put a collar on me. Once I got that monkey off my shoulder, then I really realized what improvisation was all about. Really able to think for the first time, really able to be clear and see pictures that were really there. And I think I've always been married to improvisation. I never wanted a divorce from improvisation or a separation. I love improvisation. Oh, I think it's always scary. I mean, that whole word encompasses taking chances. But I think that's what life is all about. Most of the time, I would certainly like to think that I'm in charge and know exactly what I'm doing and what I'm going to go for. But without getting into something that would cause me to be put away within the hour, I've always felt that someone is feeding me. I have little tiny cassettes in here and little files that I file up in here, and I call on them from time to time when I feel that I need them. That's the reason I love improvisation. And you either sink or swim with what you've got. I felt that I was kind of a do-it-yourself guy. I wasn't any kind of magic Christian or a Christian Scientist, but I'd work this out. I could do it. And I found out I couldn't, and I had to get some help. I would say, a hard, for me, 8 months. And it seemed to me more than a week before I got a call from Stanley Kramer. I didn't think I'd be up to it, very honestly. I told my wife, I'm scared, and I was scared. I was fresh out of the hospital, and I didn't know at that time whether I was up to doing a part such as that. The fact is, if you don't take this movie, you'll never work again. And I don't mean to lose faith in you and this and that, but it just makes sense. And she was right. I was back, and I was in charge, certainly of myself and my mind, and doing lines and this and that, and things came together fairly quickly. I wanted to see my kids grow up. If you're going to have kids, then for God's sake, be there for them. Watch them grow up. I did drop out of the clubs and damn near dropped out of the business, I guess. You have to take a cut. You've got to say goodbye to some cash. But I never wanted to say goodbye to my kids, and I never have. In lieu of the stone, the headstone, the angels, and the grave marker, I think probably a parking meter could be nice, and then feed a quarter, whatever's going in the cemetery, and then I say things like, say something funny. It is you. Don't step on me or I'll get up.